My next-door neighbor in Wilmington, Delaware, which is the headquarters of DuPont. I was working at the DuPont company at the time. My next-door neighbor and I were very good friends, and we played tennis. And we were social friends. And he was in the automobile business. And in the mid-'70s, the automobile business was having a crisis because OPEC had increased the price of oil tremendously, tripled the price of oil. And back in those days, that meant the price at the pump went from 33 cents a gallon to $1 a gallon. That was what happened in the 70s. And triple the price of gasoline is a big deal, and we had to wrestle with that. So my friend had a Pontiac dealership. And I said, oh, this is a terrific time to be in the automobile business. And he said, Bill, you're out of your cotton picking mind. This is a terrible time to be in the automobile business. People want to go to work, and they find the car is low on gas, and they drive down the street, and the gas station says closed. Next one says closed. Next one says closed. And finally, there's one that's open, and there's 45 people in line, and it says maximum 3 gallons per person. That's what happened in the 70s. The gas stations were closed, or else it was 3-gallon minimum. So this is a terrible time to be in the automobile business. I said, no, it's a wonderful time to be in the automobile business because everybody thinks it's terrible. But when everybody thinks an economy is terrible, just like today, somebody is going to make some money. Why not it be you? He said, okay, Bill, you're so smart. Tell us what to do. And I'm in the DuPont company now, remember? And this is a retail selling, and I had nothing to do with retailing in the DuPont company. So I said, okay, give me 3 months and I'll do a little study and I'll make recommendations to you. So my recommendation was an innovation for them. It was an innovation because it said, you're selling gas-guzzling Pontiacs. The consumers want all kinds of cars. You don't have any luxury car. So why don't you add a BMW? And you don't have any real gas conservation cars, so why don't you add a Honda? So I recommended they added Honda and BMW to his Pontiac line. He now, instead of having a narrow approach to the marketplace, just U.S. General Motors Pontiac, he had a prestige German, a run-of-the-mill United States that still used a lot of gas, and a gas-conscious Honda from Japan. So he was appealing to a broader marketplace with more products to, he has to get a little bit market share in each of those 3 chunks, and he'll have a very successful business. We did that in 6 months. From the beginning to the end of 1977, we got the contract with Honda and the contract with BMW. They gave us permission to sell those cars from our Pontiac facilities while we were building the new facilities. So we ended up having 3 brands instead of 1, and they made tons and tons of money as a result. What's the innovation? The innovation was look at the marketplace, and if you're not meeting all of the needs of the marketplace, what can you do reasonably to meet the needs in the marketplace? They had money. They had ability to buy more property and build more buildings. So they had some core competencies. They knew the automobile business, but they knew they were going to be up the creek if they just had Pontiac. So they added BMW and Honda and made a ton by the innovation of looking at the marketplace, finding the need, and then doing something different. And they did it in 6 months. Oh, about 4 years later, they said, Bill, we're really succeeding in this, but we need to have more Pontiac sales. What can we do to get more Pontiac sales? Because now that we've gotten 3 brands, we want to. Well, that's tricky because General Motors was not very happy with us because we had put those other brands in to compete with them. They didn't like imports at the time, of course. And so we had a shortage of Firebirds. Firebirds just were hard to get because the people that stuck with only Pontiac got the Firebirds, and we had gotten to imports, and it was harder to get the Firebirds. So how are we going to do that? We studied the marketplace, and we did some significant market research. The market research said, after the right questions have to be asked and so on, the perceived value of the clients was that Pontiac, comparably equipped, would cost about $1,000 more than a $6,000 Ford or Chevy. We said, you know what a Ford or Chevy comparably equipped, what would the Pontiac cost? What would the Oldsmobile cost? What would the Chrysler cost? And we found out from our market research that it was perceived value of the clients was it would cost $1,000 more than Ford or Chevy. We then went out and looked at sticker prices, and we found 9 examples where the Pontiac versus the Ford or the Pontiac versus the Chevy was less than $100 difference. Our advertisement was Pontiac less than $100 over Chevy and Ford. Nobody advertises that their car costs more than a competitor. We were advertising Pontiac less than $100 over Chevy and Ford, but we knew the perceived value was $1,000 over Chevy and Ford. So we were advertising that we were cheaper in the mind of the clients, even though the other car dealers didn't see it that way. Over a 2-year period, we increased market share from 2.3% to 5.2%. We more than doubled our market share selling the exact same car, Pontiac car, as everybody else, but just with a different message. We had no 4th of July sale, no President's sales, no special discounts, all of that stuff. We had one message for 2 years. Pontiac less than $100 over Chevy and Ford. That was kind of exciting because we ended up going to the Waldorf Astoria, and we received the award, the most prestigious marketing award in the United States, the Effie Award, which is for marketing effectiveness, from the American Marketing Association. And we won this award from the American Marketing Association, beating out General Motors' national campaign, Honda's national campaign, Volkswagen's national campaign, and we were a local dealership in Wilmington, Delaware. That was kind of a coup to get that award for the best marketing program among all automobile entities. So 2 stories with respect to automobiles. The innovation is look at the marketplace, find out what the market perceptions are of the clients, find out what the market structure is, and you can have innovation without using any new technology.